So I'm Zooming with Craig D'Alessandro. Did I say that right?
You did.
I'm Zooming with Craig D'Alessandro, who's an executive producer at MyFM, Milford, Massachusetts. What does an executive producer do?
My job basically is to make sure everything sounds good. I can say that I am the executive producer because there are exactly two producers, and I'm the more senior one there. So my job is basically to make sure that everything that goes over the air while I'm there sounds listenable and doesn't sound too modulated or you can't hear it enough. Basically, just sound good.
You're producing the shows, and are you in commercial productions as well?
I do commercial productions as well. I do voiceovers. I add music to commercials as well. It's a nice little gig.
All right. You've been talking about Plan Z. I've heard a lot of your conversations with, why am I blanking?
Mr. Wilbur.
With Johnny.
Yeah.
Johnny on the Drive, Johnny Wilbur. And I think you mentioned something about a marathon, like it was a marathon getting out of bed and
yes. When we first started this whole thing, Zola asked us to put together a list of the things we wanted to accomplish with our weight loss thing. One of the things near the top of my list was I wanted to feel good when I was getting out of bed because at my heaviest, which was 477 pounds, just getting out of bed felt like I was basically running a marathon because it's a lot of weight to just lift up to move. That's me moving every day. 477 pounds is a lot of weight. So just getting out of the bed, getting it from a vertical position to from a horizontal position to a vertical position was a real big task, and I would be huffing and puffing and sweating just getting out of bed, and that's a feeling that I don't ever want to feel again. I still feel that way. Obviously, I'm not cured from 477 now, but I'm a lot better than I was. Do I still huff and puff sometimes? Yes, but a lot better than I was when we started this thing.
Well, that's progress. I think I heard you say that you've done a lot of diets.
You name it, I've done it.
What's different about Plan Z?
What's different probably is the constant support system. Every time I've reached out to Zola, she's gotten back to me within, I don't know, half an hour, something like that. If you go to like the big ones, like WW, wherever they're calling themselves now, or Jenny Craig, or you can edit out whatever name you need to at the end. Either I'm in a waiting line, it's a generic response I get back, or I just don't hear back at all. When I reached out to Zola or Jessica or Jennifer, whoever was there, I heard back either right away or was after like closing hours, first thing in the morning, even before I wake up. The support was great, and also it incorporates everything that I know to work from other systems. Stuff like intermittent fasting, calorie reduction, stuff like that. But it makes it actually enjoyable. The other stuff was just, it's frozen prepackaged foods. It's foods that I don't like to eat. With Zola and the Plan Z, everything that I ate, because we got the card and the list of everything, I was able to make my own stuff. Everything else that I used to do was just, you have to eat this, you have to do that. With Zola, it's a lot more flexible.
Yeah, so it's packaged processed food diet instead of a real food diet.
Correct.
All right. How much? So you're a little bit different in that you started out fairly heavy.
Oh yeah.
Did you lose weight before you started Plan Z?
I have, like I mentioned in the last question, if you basically list a thing, I've basically done it. I've done workout programs, I've done support groups, I've done therapy support groups. I spent 8 summers at a fitness camp. Wow. I was about a week away from gastric bypass surgery, and all of those things worked to their own purpose. I often refer to, and I loved my summer camp experiences, but I referred to the summer camp, the fitness summer camps, as sort of like a fat rehab, because you would go there, it would work while you're there, but once you left, you were on your own. There was no support system. I know that when this is done, I'm still going to have a support system to talk to. I know I'm still going to have access to everything. So in that way, I'm not as worried as I was all the other times, because I knew once I left, the other things, when I was done, I was on my own. And when I'm left to my own devices, I am my own worst enemy.
Yep. What was your demise in terms of foods? What's the?
I really don't know, because I've been a food addict for so long as I can remember. Food's always been my. I don't like to use this analogy, but for me it just fits. Food's my drug. Like I'm a food addict. There are drug addicts or alcoholics. For me, it's always been food. I can remember, just sorry about that. Sorry, just feeling, and also I'm also a clinical. I also have also been dealing with depression my entire life as well. So for me, my my comfort has always been food. So there used to be days. I'm a lot worse. I'm a lot better than I used to be. But there are days when I would used to I'd go to McDonald's and order like 3,000 calories worth of food at like 12:30 at night and just eat it by myself.
Mm-hmm.
That's how bad it used to be. And obviously that's a big reason for what I am right now. But, time heals things, and I'm a little bit better with that. But still, I'm fixing a lot of the damage I've done to myself over the years. But food has always been my comfort. Whenever I have felt down, injured emotionally, or something like that, it's been food. And all that added up has made me the person I have been.
All right, so you're not alone. I've certainly.
Oh no, I know I am not.
How did you do? So how many rounds of Plan Z have you done now?
I have done I did Z reduction. I did. Oh, what's the second one?
Reboot.
Yes, I did reboot. Z reboot, and then I plan on doing another round of Z reduction because that worked tremendous for me the first round.
How did you do in terms of loss?
Z reduction, I did about 45 pounds in the 50 days. So for me, that worked really well.
15 pounds above average.
If I put my mind to it, I can pretty much do whatever I want. I can pretty much.
We had one guy, a big guy. He lost 62 pounds.
Zola told me about that.
That's amazing. And but slow and steady wins the race. So
yeah.
you're in good shape. So did you start at 477, or were you a little bit lower than that?
I started at 477, and once I started the Z reduction, it melted away pretty quickly, because there was a point with my as I mentioned before, I do have clinical depression, and so I did hit a little bit of a barrier towards the end of Z reduction where I hit one of my walls, and I put a little bit of my weight on, so that kind of evened me out of where I was. But still, I've been able to fix that. I'm seeing a therapist now and everything like that. So, but as far as the cycles for Z reduction, I keep the book with me everywhere I go. It's never that far away from me. The Z reduction part of it just works so well for me. And it's restrictive, yes, but in a good way. It keeps, there's no bad things going in, and my body has never felt better than when I was doing the Z reduction part of it.
So what got better doing it? I think you said probably energy level, but what
energy for sure. And my body just, I don't know, maybe it's the food I was eating, maybe the food I was eating before was just, hurting my body in ways that I couldn't understand, probably still don't. But I know when I was on Z reduction, I was just eating pure food, like nothing processed, nothing out of a box at all. It was just either fresh food or fresh meat, and it was just, my body never felt better. Like, I actually woke up, like we mentioned at the beginning of this, I woke up feeling good, feeling ready to go. And when I hit that wall again, where I became the Craig I had before again for a couple of days, I felt miserable. And then I started getting getting back on track, getting on the plan. felt better again, and my mood felt better too. You know, and you know, my emotional problems are my emotional problems, and no one can solve those. But once I was able to fix them, and I was able to get back on the plan, felt great. Felt really good.
Yeah, that's a lot of people report that, and it doesn't take long.
No, it
it
does not.
happens. You get cleaned out pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on the Crave Control Spray, the ZR50 Crave Control Spray?
When I was using it, that was one of the. I went in really skeptical about that. I won't lie. I'm a skeptic about everything. I don't really believe things until I try them. Because I've heard stuff like that before, like Arsenic Cambrosia, stuff like that. I'm sure people know all about that. And but I went in skeptical. You know what? It worked for me. When I was using it, my cravings were almost down because I was a big cravings guy. I snack and I used to eat all throughout the day. When I was taking that, really didn't have those. You know, I was hungry for 2 meals a day, and then, you know, really my worst times were evenings. Maybe had some celery or something, but I just if nothing else, I felt like it reduced my hunger.
Yeah.
It really worked for me, and I'm one of those people who will tell you if I don't think something's working, I'll tell you if it's not working. But for me, that worked out really well.
Well, you know, people think, well, I'm only eating 1,200 or 1,400 calories, but because you're not spiking your insulin, you're also giving up body fat. That's going into your bloodstream.
Sure.
So you're eating calories you're burning calories that you stored years ago. And so I remember the first time I was on it, I would get hungry, you know, half an hour before lunch and an hour before dinner. But then I eat that, you know, I'd eat 8 ounces of protein and a vegetable, and I wasn't hungry.
Mm-hmm.
It filled me up. So that's what it does. You do get hungry, but you don't get ravenous, and then you get satisfied more easily, I find.
That's right.
Yeah. So I'm glad that
protein's always been filling. Protein's always been so filling for me too. I'm a big carnivore. What can I say?
Well, that's a lot safer than. Well, it's not the McDonald's; it's the buns that'll kill you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right. Well.
Well, that and they sneak in the sugar into everything.
Everything.
Sugar's in everything. Everything. Number one, because it's a pretty good preservative. But number two, I think the studies have shown if you eat more, you can eat more sweet things than you can pretty much anything else. Once you get that sweet craving going, it's hard to stop it.
Yep. I think there's 3 things at McDonald's that don't have high fructose corn syrup in them.
I believe that. One of them are probably apple slices.
Coffee. And Diet Coke doesn't have high fructose corn syrup in it. I think the chicken McNuggets don't have high fructose corn syrup, but all the dipping sauces are just full of sugar. So,
I believe that.
Yeah, that's where it's just everywhere. You mentioned cooking and taking control that way. Did you use the recipes on the website?
I've used many of the recipes on the website. My favorite one, and I've mentioned this on the air a couple of times, and I've made it like 6-7 times just because it was so good, was the Fritos meatloaf. That's my favorite one by far. I know Johnny is a big fan of using like stewed onions as noodles. I'm not a big fan of that, but it works for him. But for me, I've always been like, if I could meal prep and put like stuff like that, because that was my favorite one by far. I'm a meal prepper, so I could make a whole bunch of that for like a week and just eat that the entire day. Because I don't get bored. I don't get like you meet a lot of people be like, I get bored by eating the same thing every day. If something tastes good, I'm going to eat it all the time. That's why, you know, so I can meal prep that all out for a week, and just whenever I'm hungry, I can go into my fridge and go grab it when I'm hungry. So that worked out really well for me. The recipes were there, and I can't remember off the top of my head about some of the other ones, but I was amazed how many there were. If I had a question about any of the food that was there, it was in the group. And it was all I loved how it was all, it's either Z reduction approved, Z life approved, or Z approved. So if there was any question about if I can have that during that stage, I had no questions afterwards.
Yep.
Because,
So were you on
because I know that there were certain foods that you're allowed to one phase of the program but aren't allowed in the other, and I liked how I liked how it told you which ones were approved for which.
Yep, it's pretty clear. It's takes a little bit of work, but not too much. So, and I think a lot of people have never found the search bar, because if you had chicken breast in your refrigerator, all you'd have to do is type chicken breast, and then all those recipes pop up for
or ground turkey, ground chicken.
Amen.
Asparagus.
All those things are in there. Yep. So, any health benefits to this point?
I feel lighter. I'm still in my 400s, but I still feel a lot better than I did. My knees feel a lot better. That's probably my big one. One of the things I told Zola, which, as I mentioned, she had this fill of that thing in the beginning of this, was I eventually want to get back to being able to tie my own shoelaces, because right now I'm in those shoes where you just slide right in. I kind of feel that's one of the things I'm not too proud of, that I had to wear shoes like that. But I'm getting to the point now where I can almost reach down and be able to reach my toes again, might be able to put on my own shoes. And that's been my goal. I want to be able to reach down, tie my own shoes, and just be able to do that, because I'll know then. That's when I know I'm on the right path, when I'm able to reach down there. But health-wise, I went to my doctor for a physical about a month and a half ago, and I do my blood work and all my tests before I go in there. They were concerned that I was faking it, and it wasn't really me, because my blood work and all my things actually turned out so good. My cholesterol was down, my triglycerides were down, the good cholesterol was up. Everything looked so much better. My doctor was just like, "Are you sure that you did this? We might want to do this again." I was like, "No." And then I told them what I was doing. They were like, "Whatever you're doing, keep doing it, because you look good, your numbers look great, and it looks like you're heading down the right track." And I just felt so happy about that, because I obviously hadn't seen my medical numbers yet, but my doctors are very happy with the way I'm going right now.
That's great to hear. How old are you?
I am 32.
Okay, you're still a young guy.
Some would say. I'm not sure my hair would agree with you, but
yeah, well, I turned 71 in May.
You don't look anything like it.
And,
I wouldn't even put you at 60.
There's 3 stages of life: youth, middle age, and G are looking good. I'm at the 3rd stage, but it's okay.
As long as you feel good, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it's been an interesting year for that. Talk about this is you've done a good job. I mean, you're down 45 pounds first round.
Yep.
Keeping it off in reboot, keeping it. Okay. What did you think you were going to miss the most?
Sugar. I thought that I knew I had an addiction to sugar, and I thought that the craving was going to be so bad. I thought it'd be like detoxing off heroin or something like that, but it really wasn't that bad. I thought it would be a lot worse, and I thought that would be my downfall. But I have an amazing support system. Johnny's a good friend of mine, so he's always been there for me. Checks in on me every day. Really, if I'm left to my own devices, I'm screwed. But if I have a good support system, I know I can talk to somebody. Johnny gives me tips every day. He gives me recipes every day, because I know you've seen Johnny. He looks nothing like he did before the beginning of this.
Sure, yeah.
So, Johnny's always been me. He offers to go work out with me. Well, not work out, but play baseball or box with me every day. He's been there for me pretty much every day. I have a good support system for my family as well. And, it's just the fact that I have people. I can reach out to you guys. I reach out to Zola a lot. I reach out to Jen and Jessica. And as long as I have a support system, I can get through anything. It's just when I'm left to my own devices, I'm screwed.
Yeah. No, that's part of the value of having a team behind you and having some friends on the diet. Because I know there are 5 of you at the station are on the diet.
Me,
5.
Tom, Sue.
John-
Yeah, 5.
Johnny.
Tom and Darlene.
That's the ultimate buddy system. I remember one time we did a whole firehouse.
Oh no.
You know, they bring in the lasagna and everybody was getting fat, and so they went on Plan Z together. So
We've had our moment. We've had our moments at work. We've had you know, not huge like food parties, but we've had those, but we don't do them anymore.
yeah. All right, so
Excuse
you've
me.
done well.
Thank you.
You're a work in progress, and there's going to be another reduction or two. But
I always say my life is a work in progress. It's not over yet.
All of us are a work in progress.
Yeah.
But, what advice would you have to someone who's thinking about doing this diet as opposed to something else, or they're on the fence, or they haven't started yet? Do you have some advice for them?
You only get one life. Don't hesitate. For me, I've tried everything. This is the one thing that for me that's been working. Get on it today.
Let's leave it right there.